Remember to put your predictions on who will win this race in chat today before lap 1 of the race to be entered into the 100 rapid points giveaway. Remember, whoever has the highest rapid point total at the end of the season will be put on the wall of fame and be given a special prize. But enough of that nonsense right now, because here we are in Spain for qualifying. Welcome to Spain. Here we are in the pit lane. Everyone's getting all their setups correct and ready to go. But also something to look at is the tires we'll be qualifying on. A few of the drivers were talking about qualifying on soft since the tires are going to be very different. But while we wait for that, I saw a Williams go out, and I believe that is the Williams of Janab. So we're going to keep our camera on that Williams. That is not Janab, that is Hypers. So let's go on board with Hypers as he takes us on a flying lap, warm-up lap of Circuit de Catalunya. So it starts off this 1-2 chicane and onto this long turn 3 right-hander. So want to have a good entrance and exit on that turn 4. Has this little kink at the very end of it. Coming into turn 5, it's a slight hairpin, high-speed hairpin. Then you're on the gas quickly for turn 6. Going into turn 7. Turn 6 is more of a kink. Turn 7 and turn 8 are very tricky to get on the gas and just off of it. But number 9, turn number 9, this right-hander has a DRS onto this DRS straight. Hard on the brakes into turn 10. This little arena section that Circuit de Catalunya has. 11 and 12 right here. It's actually off camber turn 11, so you might be pass pulled over. Why is pass pulled over? Okay, he's letting his teammate through. Turn 13 is a hard right-hander followed by the rack, the RACC chicane, which is a very important chicane in this circuit to get the absolute most amount of pace as possible. So Janab and Path, the only ones on track. Path, also known as ERL Hypers, as his teammate Janab just completely cuts the corner and goes on into turn 3 around the outside. Now turn 3 during the race, you want to have the best entry and exit on there, or else your car might spin or just shoot off wide. So throttle control is definitely something you want to have. As you see Path's car going a bit loose on the exit. Setups and everything are almost as important as the racing line you take here. Though the racing line is fairly similar, as I believe that maybe GearX or Formula Danny in the background as he's chasing after Hypers. Hypers on his flying lap, entering the chicane. Yeah, that's Formula Danny. Just judging that speed, but he's immediately going ahead into the pit lane. So we're going to go on board with Formula Danny as he takes his flying lap. Formula Danny wasn't here for last race, as he was in London at the O2 Arena, competing in the F1 Esports Championship, and he did get his first win in that series as he goes extremely wide out of turn 3. But currently the pole position is Alan T, sitting up there at 1:16.932. He's followed closely, no, not closely by, he's followed by some idiot with the 1:23.23. Or 3.39 seconds to the leader. Merrick gets that gap. How did Alan do that? I think they weren't taking that lap too seriously, or Al was just that quick on the soft tires and he was wanting to get his lap in. Formula Dane doing a little bit of curb jumping out of turn 11. That corner will throw your car to the other direction if you are not careful, so expect to see some drivers going a little bit wide entering turn 11 as Formula Dane is coming across the line. He must have had that lap invalidated during that turn 3 incident where he did go off track, so thankfully that wasn't his actual lap because that was actually slower as he's just driving his car through the Grand Prix circuit. I'm not sure if he's going to be on a flying lap right here. So let's go to Janab, who's in the pits. Let's go to Assassin, who's in Sector 3 right now. Going through the Royal Chicane. Hard on the gas. Around the final turn of turn 16. Opens up DRS and across the line. Assassin 6 in second place with 0.34 seconds behind of Alan T. His teammate Monster sitting in third place right now. 0.4 seconds off of the Ferrari of Alan T. See if Formula Dane is continuing that lap. So he should be making his way through to Sector 3 right here. Yes, he is. And he is on pace. No, he's not. He's not. He's going to the pits. Formula Dane diving into the pits. Yes, there he goes. So the pit lane's a bit crowded and a big lockup for Formula Dane. But nothing to worry about. There are 10 minutes left for Formula Dane, but his teammate of Gearx is coming out of the pits, so that's holding him up just a little bit. Let's go on board Silent Ace, who's heading into the pits. Never mind. But currently, your pole sitter is Alan T, who's in the pits on the soft tires. Now, you're going to see some guys at the end put on the soft tires who haven't set a lap, which is the rest of the field. Since the tire wear is very crucial. But some guys in the top might try a two-stop strategy, since Spain is very high tire wear as Assassin's making his way towards the pit right now. Somebody who's on their out lap is Hypers, sitting in 16th. We watched live as his lap got invalidated. You see that Force India just jobbing around on the curves right now. Let's go on board with Gearx. See where he's going. He's actually behind these guys. Coming down that long back straight, we see Path park his car right before turn 10. But Gearx, your championship leader, after taking a very exciting win in Baku. Last week was a very awesome week indeed for Gearx. He took a win and he took control of the World Championship. Somebody also very excited for that is some idiot who's not on track right now, but he took a podium as well and moved up in the championship and is the highest Force India, beating his teammate. Now Adrian Seif, it is his home Grand Prix today, so let's go on board with a Spaniard with his Spanish helmet. As he takes a comfortable outlap here in Spain. Adrian Seif's been with the F1 Rapid Race for 3 straight seasons. He is actually the founder, I believe. I'm not sure who's the actual founder. I get them confused with Adrian Seif and Alan T all the time, but Adrian Seif, one of the main admins of F1 Rapid Racers. This is his dream child, and he's absolutely loved every minute of it. He's making his way through the Royal Chicane. It is going hard on the gas for his pit stop. Well, 8 minutes ago, we're going to see a lot of in pits, out pits action as Assassins put on the soft tires on his out lap, sitting in second place. Alan T still in the pits, probably just sipping a tea. Not really stressing that much, but someone who is stressing is Hypers, who almost leads the race by a second of 1:16.023. Hypers came out of nowhere, took pole. I wasn't expecting him to do that. But with everyone on the soft tires, we're just not really putting in hard laps right now on the super softs. Just trying to sight a good lap for the actual time. It wasn't going to be long until somebody like Hypers comes along and just shows up on the super soft tires. So he might be starting on pole, but he does park his car, letting Merrick through. I believe that is Merrick. Yes, it is. No, it's not. That was Silent Ace. Speaking of Merrick, here's Merrick coming across the line for his flying lap. The front straight of Circuit de Catalunya. Very aggressive straight. You're going to see a lot of draft battles happening here. DRS is very effective at this track. You see Merrick keeping his car in line as he's moving his way into turn 4 of Repsol. Or Repsol. It is Repsol. Coming through the ends of Sector 2, entering Sector 3. Sector 3 is at the end of turn 10 into TV3, which is turn 7 and 8. Coming through turn 9 opens up DRS. We have a yellow flag at sectors 1 and 2. Entering sector 3, Merrick is looking a little bit down on his time on these current tires. It's 0.1 seconds, but there is room to improve in sector 3. Entering turn 13 and 14 for the Royal Chicane. Hard on the gas and into the... I keep thinking these guys are going way too hard on the gas and their tail is just flicking out, but no, they're just going to the pits. 6 minutes 25 remain in this qualifying session. We'll go on board with some idiot right now. Some idiot driver. Race point Force India, as the clear pink livery does not show that in any way. So that sector 3 time is not accurate in any chance. There's his actual time, the 1:23.23, but that was his out lap. Here he is on his flying lap. Some idiot got a very good podium out of last race, and he's looking very good on these soft tires. Going to try to put in a banger of a lap for him right now. As Alan T is put on the super soft tires, might try for a little bit of mind games. So he might start going on some flying laps on those, so look out for those in the last 5 minutes. Going through turn 13, 14, and 15. Everyone's all spread out. This is qualifying. So everyone's just keeping everything spacious and having all the downforce as possible as some idiot sits in P3 on the soft tires. 0.973 seconds behind Hypers. So we're going to look at second place of Alan T sitting on those super soft tires. Alan might be trying out the super softs, or he just wants that pole position as Nicky in the Toro Rosso sits up there in P2 on a soft tire lap, worn soft tire lap actually. It's 2-lap old soft tires, 0.682 seconds, almost half a second behind of Hypers on pole. As actually Alan T has almost answered and tied Hypers. Less than a hundredth of a second, a tenth of a second actually, 0.088 seconds separate Hypers and Alan T. See Monster in the Alfa Romeo pull off to the side of the road, let Alan T through, who's definitely not on a flying lap. That was actually much slower than what he prefers right there. So he's off the gas, off the throttle. He put it in his lap. He's probably going to head back to the pits and just relax. But the super soft runners are out in front today. But the soft tires are out in droves, as they are all concerned about strategy, tire wear. What tire do I want to start on first? Remember, top 10 have to start on the tire that they qualify. Everyone else, they just sit. They can choose a fresh pair of tires anytime they want. Well, before the start of the race, that is. But strategies, one stop is on the strategy today for the soft tires to the harder compound of the medium. As Merrick's engine's going a little bit berserk. Let's go to someone who's much calmer on the throttle. That'll be Gearx, who is coming out on his flying lap right now. Championship leader Gearx right now. Not championship guaranteed yet. Mercedes is leading the championship because first and second place are both Mercedes cars of Formula Dani and Gearx. So both these guys are very. There's a 78 has retired for the session. Now, last race we were giving out a little bit of. We were looking at drivers' retirements during the race as a little bit of a penalty, but not here in Spain, since the track is way much wider than Baku. Gearx looking nicely in Sector 2. Coming through that flick of Turn 6 into TV3 of 7 and 8. Throwing his car into Turn 9. And opens up the DRS. Actually, no, he doesn't. Might still be going on another warm-up lap as Edersaif has retired. Remember, put in your predictions of chat on who will win to get 100 rapid points. All submissions must be made before the first lap to be counted. So we're on board with Assassin right now. Throughout turn 16, opens up DRS. Assassin across the line, sits up there in P3 on Supersofts. 0.5 seconds behind. As 42 seconds remain, Assassin dives down the inside. We see Path, Hypers, and Janab on their flying laps. Go on board with Janab. Oh no, Janab goes into the gravel. Janab sits P15 right now. Disastrous for Janab as he goes into the gravel. We see his teammates of Hypers retire. Janab still on the gravel and grass, as he might just retire right now. There's no time left in the session. He doesn't even have a time set, so unless there's a grid penalty to be assessed, he'll be on the very last of the grid. As Alan T has started a new flying lap right now at the very end. Let's go on board with Alan T. But also someone to look at is Formula Dani. He's jumped up there to P3 on the soft tires. So he'll be the farthest starting soft tires right now as Alan T sits in second place on the super soft tires. 0.088 seconds behind Hypers. Can Alan T get pole at a race he's dominated in the last 2 seasons? Can he make it 3 in a row for a perfect hat trick here in Spain? Alan T, the only driver in Rapid Racers history to ever win in Spain. No one else has any success here. Last year's race was a bit chaotic with disqualifications and penalties held out, and a bit of issues with pit stops for Formula Dani as Alan T took that. But Alan T hard on the gas, drifting around turn 16 of Catalunya. On the straight, opens up DRS, and Alan T takes pole by, oh my god! What? 0.001. What a lap by Alan T. 1,000th of a second separates first and second position. What in the heck did I just witness? 0.001 separates first and second place. Wow. That's actually now 0.002, but it was 0.001 for me. But here are your qualifying results. It's Alan T taking pole with Hypers starting on the front row for the first time, followed by Formula Danny and Assassin. Nikki and Garrick start in 5th and 6th. Fulton, Self Idiot, Monster, Merrick, Adersyth, Tolga, Silent Ace, 2-2, 444, 444, Flexus Markey, and Janab coming up at the rear of no time. But look at these tire strategies. 3 drivers out of all of them qualified on the super soft tires, then everybody on the soft tires. So 2 stops, 1 stop, maybe just edging tire wear. All the strategies in the world are going to be pulled out right out of the bag today for the top 3. Formula Danny is the highest soft tire starter, so we'll be watching, keeping an eye on him today. But someone to look after is Hypers and Alan T off the line. Is Hypers starting on second, starting on the inside, go for an aggressive move up the inside, or will it be Alan T? Trying to do that. Remember, put your predictions in the chat on who's going to win 100 rapid points. We are ready, and just waiting to go for round 5 of season 3. We're getting ready for the formation lap. Gotcha. Let's take a look at the tires and everybody's doing. Alan T starting on the super soft tires with Hypers falling right behind. Formula Danny sitting on the soft tires, but knowing him, he will have a lot of pace on the soft tires just as he's sitting in 3rd place. So look for him to make a few more moves before the pit stop phase. Assassin, the last super soft tires, except for 2-2, 4-4-4-4-4-4-4, starting in back in 14th. Nikki and everybody else starting on the soft tires, but if you look at Janab, he's starting on the medium tires. He's way back there. So Janab looking forward to for a reverse one-stop strategy, starting on the slower tires and going on to the soft tires. But Alan T, that's a pole for Alan T. I believe his first pole of the season. Now, before they come back at the end of this lap, I want you to put your predictions in chat on who will win this race. Will it be Alan T, Hypers, Formula Danny, or will it be the current leading champion Girex right now, who won last race in Baku? As the cars are getting lined up, the tension is certainly rising. Everyone's lighting their cars up, getting the tires warmed up and everything. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about to go down. I hope you are ready for a wild ride here in Spain. The Rapid Racers home race. As we see Flexus and Janab coming up at the end of the grid. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away they go here at Circuit de Catalunya for round 5 for season 3 in Spain. It looks like Nikki and Gears get a great start. Assassin bogged down at the start. Look at Formula Danny around the outside of Nikki. But late on the brakes as Hypers dies down the inside, has a bit of lag contact with Formula Danny, making him go down the inside. We're going to go on board with Nikki as Girex swoops down the inside. Assassin drops 4 places off the start, but everyone's staying really in the same spot. This is a giant midfield battle as we look at Nikki and Monster battling it out. Nikki dropped down 1 place, but Monster jumped up 4 places. But look at 2-2, 4-4-4. The Haas driver jumping up 5 places from the start. Is this just a giant mess in the midfield right now between all these cars? But look at Formula Danny still sitting behind Hypers in 3rd place, but his teammate of Girex sits up there in 4th, jumping up 2 places. Also, Monster looking really good. Lots of gravel smoke in the air right now. I don't know if there's any contact, but I believe that's Interside making a move down the inside of Merrick. So we're going to go up to the front of Formula Danny as he's chasing down Hypers. Remember, Hypers is on the super soft tires. Formula Danny and his teammate are both on the soft tires. They're the top running soft tires on this grid, as Alan T leads them all through the first lap. Speaking of Alan T, Hyper's getting extremely close to Alan T for the battle for the lead. Formula Danny's also very close to Alan T, but Hyper's actually losing a lot of pace to Alan out of turn 3. It's reporting that he's 1 second behind him, but Spain's known to show some wonky stuff with timings, because physically that ain't a second. That's about half a second. So we want to stay on this view of Hypers and Alan T, but Hypers is having a little bit of internet problems. We saw that lag car teleport in front of Formula Danny just a little bit earlier. They're coming down the back straight for lap 2. No incidents yet that I can see. Merrick has actually had a little bit of incident, dropping down 6 places from where he qualified. The biggest mover today is Monster and Flex's Mariki. Flexes, I would just say, moving up 4 places off their qualifying position. But currently it's the top 3, as we see Nikki in the background getting extremely loose as Formula Danny, as Alan T sets the fastest lap of the race. Following Formula Danny, the esports driver for Mercedes-AMG Petronas won his race at the actual F1 esport event last week, as he wasn't here for us in Baku, as he's just chasing down Hypers and just staying behind them as both of them are on the super soft tires, as Formula Danny and Girex and everybody else on the field are starting on the soft tires, as 2-2-4-4-4-4-4 is entering the pits. Assassin's actually getting a time penalty. What is Assassin doing? Just for multiple warnings. I believe that just may have been a bit of corner cutting. Everyone's just running in a draft train, really. No overtakes being assumed, as everyone's just trying to find some grip right here. On board with Fulton. We didn't see much of him during qualifying. He's sitting up there in P8. We're going on to the tire times as Hypers. Oh no! Hypers went wide at the end of turn 16. He went into the gravels and is just falling down the order. Just a sitting duck right there. He locks up his brakes, cuts to the chicane. I don't think he waited enough. Some idiot coming down the inside. Will some idiot get this overtake? Oh no! Hypers has spun it. Ew, almost a big incident with that Red Bull. But Hypers got into the green area of turn 3. I mentioned this during qualifying. You don't want to run up there, or else your back end may lose you. But Hypers falling down the order right now as he sits in 13th from there. But Formula Danny gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That's going to come into play later in this race. Alan T still leading up there on the super soft tires with 3 laps on them. This 33 lap race. Alan T trying to extend these super soft tires as much as they can to try to go for a 1 stop, but if brought into certain conditions, a two-stop might be happening, but he may be losing some pace as Nicky sets a new fast lap of a 1:25.70. Morbidelli held that lap for just a split second, but now it belongs to Nicky. As Photon goes around the outside of Assassin going into turn 3. These two are battling out right now, but let's keep with our leaders of Formula Danny and Alan T, as it looks like Formula Danny is closing in on Alan T. Are those super soft tires getting worn out very quickly right now? Hypers just made his way into the pits to that incident he had. Formula Danny getting extremely close with DRS. There's a massive gap between them and Gearx. It's a battle between these two. It's season 2 all over again, where it was these two guys out in front the entire season. Formula Danny running into the grass, trying to chase down Alan T, trying to find into his line as we got a 3-way battle for P3, honestly. Happening right behind him. Formula Danny opens up DRS down the front straight, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle in because it's a drag race here in Spain. Alan goes down the inside to defend on Formula Danny. Formula Danny overtakes Alan around the outside for the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix. We're going to go into this 3-way battle between Monster, Gearx, and Nicky. Gearx sitting in the middle as Formula Danny leads off this race. He wants to join his teammate on the podium, but he's sitting in 4th. Look at Nicky right behind, trying to find ways around the... Trying to find a way around the Mercedes driver. Getting extremely close, Nicky is. But Gearx takes a 3-second time penalty. Now, also, his teammate has a 3-second time penalty as well, as no moves are being made on the front straight. Gearx dives in late, actually. Tries to sneak his way underneath Monster, but no can do from the Mercedes driver. Look at Nicky right behind, trying to find ways to wiggle himself around Gearx, but in this tight Sector 3, not much can happen. So we see Photon making up grounds of time, closing in on this pack of 3 as Alan T has gone into the pits. 6 laps on the Super Softs. And here goes Gearx down the inside of Monster. Big lockup from them. Nicky might have touched Monster at the end, but Monster's going to fight back and hold it around the outside, but no can do. Here comes Gearx, holding him off. Let's go on board with Monster, as he's now trying to fight, but Photon has joined the party. And it's now a 4-way fight for P3. Monster trying to find his way around Gearx, but also look at Nicky. He's been sitting back there just watching this fight. Same is to Photon, who's also doing that. Oh, that's a great sound. As they're coming onto the straight, pouring a little bit of gravel onto the track. DRS is open. Here comes Monster. Locks up the brakes. No, I don't think there was any contact there, but he cannot make the move stick, as he's now trying to just chase down Gearx as much as he can. Gets a little bit loose. Nicky had a look right there going into turn 14. Heading into the chicanes. This giant pack having a massive battle as Alan T comes out in 11th place right now. DRS is open. Big lock up. It was almost a 3-wide fight into turn 1. But no, Monster flinging his car around the track, trying to defend from Nicky, as Gearx is actually just pulling away from Monster. Nicky looking down the inside. But here comes Photon around the outside of turn 4. But no, Nicky holds him off. Nicky still under attack and under fire from Photon, who's trying a little switchback move on him going into turn 6. On board with Photon now. So we're coming into turn 9 as Merrick has retired from the session. What has happened to the Red Bull driver? He didn't have the best of starts. Was there a bit of a collision with a wall, or was that a by-hand retirement for him? Probably have to ask Merrick after this race to find out. We're getting close to the front straight and the pit strategies for the soft tires. They're all on the front straight. Look at Monster up there. Monster and Gearx side by side. Monster slips past Gearx on the front straight and holds that off, but he's getting a little bit loose on the exit of turn 2, coming into turn 3 as Gearx is having more. Looks at him as Alan T sets a new fast lap as we see Gearx's car just driving down the middle as he is being lapped. But Alan T does set the new fast lap on those fresh soft tires that he just went into the pits for. He will have a pace advantage compared to everyone else with this massive pack of 4 cars right here. Is still battling it out for second. Let's take a look at the gap to the leader. If Formula Danny wants to retain the lead, he has to stay 20 seconds ahead of Alan T. So we got a yellow flag in turn 1. Was that Hypers? Yes, it is. Hypers spun it out of sector 1. Actually, going to turn 2, Hypers has once again spun his Williams in that exact area. Tough for Hypers. But Alan T sitting 21 seconds behind of Formula Danny. Formula Danny must be 20 seconds before he goes into the pits. Once that time. But currently Alan T closing in that gap on Formula Danny just a tiny bit. Those soft tires not holding enough pace as Alan T's fresh ones. But the question is, when does Formula Danny go into the pits? He's looking very comfortable up there, 4 seconds ahead of everybody else as this giant battle for second is going on right now. All of them all on the same tire. Monster looks like he is pulling away from this giant battle. Fulton still lingering at the back, looking for any opportunity to pounce on Nicky. Going onto the straight. Will there be a move right now? Fulton dives down the inside. Nicky covers him off. And yes, he's just going to sit right behind of Nicky as Merrick has left the session after finishing in P16. As they enter the front straight, 10 laps on these tires. 11 out of 33. Here in Spain. Gearx still trying to chase down Monster. Adersife makes a move on Flexus on the front straight as the people of Spain go crazy for the pride of Spain as he's trying to defend from the McLaren driver for P7. Look down the inside. Here comes Flexus. They're side by side going in turn 4, and Flexus pushes Adersife out. And look at Janab making a move from last on the grid to P8, but Adersife sends it downtown in a massive collision between him, Flexus, and Janab. Adersife knew he messed up there, got on the brakes as soon as possible, but is there a bit of a damaged front wing for Adersife? I do not see any front wing elements for the Force India driver. So that might have brought out a bit of damage. Yes, there is damage on Adersife's front wing. A little bit of pride never goes too far, but it does certainly when you're battling for position. We resume our top 4 fight between Monster, Gearx, and Nicky. Fulton's dropped back around a second behind of Nicky, as I believe he's just letting his tires cool down and letting just everything fall into place for him. Alan T moves up to 8th place, 7th place, 8th place. Alan T making a lot of moves into turn 1 on the freshest tires on the grid. So he's trying to close that gap to Formula Danny when Danny makes his pit stop. Those pit stops should come in a few more laps. Look at Andersheim! He's gone into the grass. Yellow flag is out. The Pride of Spain is off the track. His tires covered in gravel and everything. That's disastrous for the Pride of Spain right there. First damaged his car, and now he's just out of position, sitting in 12th as Alan T was making his way through the field. Let's take a look at the gap between Alan T and Formula Danny. Monster and Garrix first into the pits. They're going into the pits a little bit early. Now Formula Danny has to be 20 seconds to retain his lead, but Alan T is sitting up there with 18 seconds. He will be the net leader to Formula Danny when he decides to pit. Alan T sitting 4th place in 4th right now after that giant pit stop from everyone going onto the medium tires for the rest of the 20 laps. Now the question is, will Alan T have to do a 2-stop strategy? He's within the gap to Formula Danny, just 18 seconds behind him. Formula Danny has to make this pit stop right now. You can't stay on one tire the entire race, sadly, as that would just be a giant pace race. Formula Danny hopping a little bit of curbs, going a bit wide. Does he go into the pits? Yes, he does. Here comes Formula Danny into the pits. He's on the brakes, locks up the tires just a little bit, but he does make it safely. No drive-through penalty. So on board with with Alan T right now as he chases down Formula Danny. Where will Formula Danny come out? It's going to be Alan T taking over the lead, inheriting it, as some might say, as he's now 2 seconds ahead of Formula Danny on the 7th lap old soft tires. He will have 5 to 6 more. He will have around 7 more laps on these tires, maybe 8, 15 laps on these straight tires to go, but I think he will have to come into the pits one more time for another round on those soft tires if he has another round for them. But Formula Danny now sitting in 2nd. Look at Assassin. Goes for the soft tires. Well, actually still on the soft tires after starting on the super softs. Formula Danny now under attack from Assassin. Garrix just another 3-second time penalty. That's 6 seconds for him in total. That's an eternity in F1 time from the whole penalties. Assassin getting a little bit loose off the throttle coming out of turn 13. As he's just losing time to Formula Danny right now. See that battle in the background between Janab and Monster. Monster going down the inside. It's a drag race here in Spain, but it looks like it's going to be Monster slipping right in front of Janab and taking over the lead. As Hypers has retired from the session, I don't know if that was a bad pit stop or what. I don't see any yellow flags or anything to be looking out, but look at Garrix sitting behind Janab, trying to find his way around on the medium tires. Janab started on these medium tires. Oh, look at Garrix! Dives down the inside, almost holds him off a little bit. But Garrix dive bombing for P5. He does have that 6-second time penalty on him, though, so he would technically be in around P9 right now. Speaking of time penalty. Formula Danny does have a 3-second time penalty on him. To Alan T, who is 4 seconds off the road, but he's actually 7 seconds off the road if you think about it. So all Alan T has to do is finish within 3 seconds of Formula Danny, but Formula Danny setting a new fast lap of 1:19.833, which is insanely fast, and Alan T knows that, which is why he's still pushing as hard as he can on those 9-lap old soft tires. But he is losing time to Formula Danny as Foten makes a move on Janab. Janab's tires showing their limits as he's inside of Janab. Fulton moving through in there as we have a message from Hypers. Unfortunately, I spun on the overheated tires on lap 5. Then my game kept freezing for some reason. Toga spun me and my race was over. Not concerned, and spun in long right corner. Alright, Hypers, thank you for your insight. Hopefully everything goes better for you in our next race at Monaco. Don't know if the stewards are going to look into that situation, as Girex is still trying to chase down Monster right here, as Formula Danny says a new fast lap of 1:19.712. Alan T looking for a few more laps on these soft tires before heading back into the pits. Just 3 seconds ahead of Formula Danny. "17 of 33 laps here in Spain. We're halfway through this Grand Prix, round 5 of season 3. Girex chasing in on Monster just a little bit, just sitting a second back. No one's sitting a second back, but someone who's not is in 12th. It's the McLaren of Flexis Marquis. He's chasing down Silent Ace going into turn 4. McLaren driver not having a good move, and he runs into the grass. That's definitely not a good move. So he's falling back just a little bit. But Silent Ace moving his way through the corners a little bit slowly. Number 69 car of Flexis looking very good here in Spain. Let's go back to this battle for 4th between Girex and Monster. As they go down the front straight. Everyone's separated by a second now, just keeping tire wear in check and just race strategy. Alan T still leading out everybody. But Formula Danny 2.8 seconds behind, and Alan has to make another pit stop. We know these soft tires will probably last around 15-ish laps before about 13-ish laps before the pace starts to go. And that's when Alan's going to probably move it to a bit, try to overextend the lap 13 before he goes into pit. So 2 more laps on the soft tires, but the gap to Formula Danny has fallen down to 2 seconds, even though with that 3-second penalty, he would still be in the zone to get leaped by Danny in the later stages of this race. Well, actually, as he takes the pit stop, and all he'll have to worry about is the one stop of Formula Danny, who is on the medium tires. Formula Danny pit 5 laps ago for his medium tires, and he's hoping to carry them through out the end of this race. Alan looking for about 2 more laps. Lap 21 is probably when he's going on those fresh soft tires. So we see Girex now just closing in on Monster. We got a yellow flag in sector 3. Is it the Haas at 22444? It is. So it looks like his tires are all out and doubt. 15 laps on him. He got a little bit loose at entering the chicane. I don't know if there was a puncture involved, but he is sitting there in now last place. Also, somebody sitting in last place is home. It's his home race. It's Agerside, the pride of Spain, sitting in 13th after that incident he had going into turn 6, or turn 5, and losing a bit of his front wing. On board with Gurix now as he's chasing down Monster and Assassin. Both Alfa Romeos running up there in 3rd and 4th. Great showing from the Sauber F1 team. But Gurix has the pace to get past him. We see a little bit of carbon fiber outside of the Royal Chicane as Alan T goes to the pits right now on lap 20. 1 lap higher than I predicted as Formula Danny inherits the lead. Formula Danny has to finish 3 seconds higher than these guys, but he's 7 seconds higher, so it doesn't really matter that I'm saying this. He does have a 3-second penalty. As Gurix trying to find his way into the mall. Oh, Assassin also went into the pits. I didn't realize that both Alfa Romeos went into the pits. And does this scene look awfully familiar? Gurix, Nicky, and Photon. The 4-way battle has resumed. Monster, Gurix, Nicky, and Photon. The 4-way battle has resumed after the pit stops. Here in Spain for P2 now instead of P3. As Monster goes hard on the brakes. Gurix trying to find his way. Also, Nicky trying to find his way around of all of these guys. As all these guys coming through the final turn of Sector 3 with just 12 laps to go. Well, 13 laps to go since, yeah. 12 laps to go here in Spain. Monster dives down the inside. Gurix sits in behind him, goes around the outside, and overtakes it for P2. Great fight from Gurix right there, sitting in P2. Now, Monster going into turn 3. Look at Nicky going extremely wide around the outside of himself. Hypers get loose and spin back in there. Hypers started on the front row after a astounding qualifying session. But look at Monster trying to find any sort of grip and any door open to Gurix. On board the driver's eye with Monster. Trying to see through the halo, chasing down Gurix. Monster sitting behind Gurix right now, just 0.4 seconds going into Sector 3. Not a lot of moves being made into Sector 3 as it's just so tight and so many turns happening that not a lot of stuff can happen. But all the stuff we've been seeing today is on the straight. As Monster is just closing down on Gurix right now. But no moves made from the Alfa Romeo driver. As Hypers has left the session after his retirement. As the Assassin sets a new fast lap of 119. Something. On those medium tires that he's on. Also, Alan T going on to the medium tires. Now, with more than 10 laps to go, I've been seeing these medium tires go around 18 laps. Formula Danny is in trouble of a one-stop tire puncture if he stays on these medium tires. So he's going to have to look at the medium tires. That's why Alan T and Assassin went on to that two-stop strategy. So they might be on the right move here. But, oh, look at Nicky getting extremely close to Monster in the Royal Chicane, but nothing to come out of it. As Photon is now chasing down Nicky down the front straight. This four-way fight is now breaking into a two-way fight. Alan T sets a new fastest lap of a 1:19.530 for the Scuderia Ferrari and the pole sitter. Garrick's pulling out a little bit of a gap to Monster and everyone else in this battle, as he's just rocketing away and just slowly pulling, as Monster's now focused more on defending than attacking, or he is running low on tires. Both of them pit on the exact same lap for 10-lap old tires. So we see Foten getting very dicey in the back with Nicky. So all DRS flaps are open. Tolga sets a new fast lap for Haas F1 as a 1:19.394. Tolga sitting in 13th on those soft tires. So I guess it's just a hot lapping session for him right now. And to the front straight again. Monster is just half a second behind, but look at Foten and Nicky. Will Foten make a move on board with Foten? Sitting behind Nicky. Swings to the outside. Out breaks Nicky. They're side by side going to turn 1 and turn 2, but Foten rides the curbs and his car upset that by all that, as it looks like Nicky didn't leave enough space for Foten, so we might be seeing some of that in the stewards panel after the race. As Monster still trying to find any way back up to Garrix, as Garrix is slowly pulling away from Monster right now. Making another 3-second time penalty. That'll put him down just in front of some idiot, actually, as Flexus Marchi sets a new fast lap of 1:19.315. The lap times are just getting so sub-optimal. Just so sub-perfect that everyone is just setting new fast laps just by 0.1 of a second, just by fuel alone. No moves being made on the front straight from either Monster or Foten. But Monster still chasing down Garrix, losing a lot of time. But look at Nicky. He is gaining on Monster right now. We have a yellow flag in Sector 3. Is it? I think it's Tolga. Yes, it is Tolga. Tolga is going extremely slow. Must have spun it outside of turn 11. Must got caught out on that off-camber turn. Tough for Tolga as he sits in 14th place, as on those fresh, soft tires. Let's go back with Nicky and Foten, as it looks like Monster is way out of DRS range right now. Nicky chasing down Monster for P3, but look at Foten right behind. Nicky, speed, just almost coming in a collision with Monster right now, but he's just carrying so much speed off that front straight. He is following Monster right now for P3. Just front wing the gearbox right now, as they've been throughout this entire race. These three guys all battling it out. They've been battling out through this entire race. And honestly, it's been a great show to watch, but not a lot of overtaking from them except on the straights, which is weird to see. Hard on the brakes goes Monster, as Nicky is just trying to find his way past him, but nothing that he can do. Silent Ace gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, but it's Nicky, Monster, and Foten still battling out for P3. They come onto the front straight. There be any drafting moves here. No moves being made. Let's check on Alan T, the pole sitter, as he's chasing down some idiot on the front straight. Can Alan T get past of the Force India anytime soon? With around 6 laps to go, can these medium tires make it to the end of the race? Ladies and gentlemen, it is crunch point, it's strategy point, it's tire watch, it's everything. As Alan T's just trying to make his way around some idiot who's on 14 lap old medium tires. Zernab loses a place, actually gains a place on the Pride of Spain for P10. On board with Alan T right now for P6 as he's chasing down some idiot. Nothing you can do, but that's Formula Danny taking the fastest lap of a 1:19.113, absolute miles ahead of everybody. 10-second gap to him, the monster. He does have a 3-second time penalty, but if anything, it's not even to be concerned about. He could be on autopilot for all I know. But look at Nicky, side by side down into turn 1. Monster does leave enough room for it, but he just sneaks past him. And there's nothing he can do for Nicky right there. But look at Monster sitting behind Nicky, trying to go around the outside for turn 4. Nothing there as well. Nicky and Monster and Fulton, they've been having a 3-way fight. Let's look at some idiot and Alan T. As they're entering that back straight, will Alan T try to get past some idiot who's on those 15 lap old medium tires? Big lockup from some idiot in that Force India. Alan T just trying to close in the gap of some idiot, but there's nothing that he can do right there. It's just been a procession of cars, as some might say, between these two. Alan T jumping a curb, honestly. Just trying to find any ways around of some idiot, as Girex making a move. As Nicky actually made a move on Monster. Let's look at Alan T. They're side by side with some idiot. Forces some idiot off over the track into the curves, but Alan T does make the gap on some idiot. But some idiot's not someone to give up. Oh, he was just selling him a dummy. I don't think Alan took the bait, honestly. As some idiot sits in 7th, Alan T sits in 6th place. Can these tires make it to the end? Just 4 more laps to go here in Spain. So we see Flexus go onto Superstar tires. It's hot lapping time for him anyway. No points for the hot lap, by the way. So we're going on board with Monster and Fulton. Fulton sitting behind Monster, coming onto the front straight. Fulton has DRS, Monster does not. Fulton closing in on that slipstream, going down the inside. They're side by side going in turn 1. Fulton slides up ahead of Monster and takes it. That's P4 for Fulton, but Monster has been knowing to fight back any positions he's lost. So looking here, he is on 17 lap old medium tires. There's someone to watch for tire wear. It is Monster. Is that tire going slowly? Are all these tires going slowly? Let's get that gap to the leader up once again. Alan T sits 21 seconds behind of Formula Danny. Is Formula Danny's pace going just a bit? Just a tiny milliseconds between Alan T and Monster Alan T and Formula Danny. But Formula, what was I thinking about Formula Danny's losing pace? He set the new fast lap of a 1:18.784. As Flexus sets a 1:18 flat, .099. Almost trying to one-up Formula Danny on those super soft tires. But it's currently Formula Danny leading 11 seconds on Gearx. Nicky follows in third, followed by Photon and Monster, who we see on our screen right now. Alan T in sixth, followed by Some Idiot in seventh. Assassins in 8th, Silent Ace is in 9th, and finishing up the points is Janab. The Pride of Spain, Intersight, is in 11th currently, with 2244444 sitting in 12th. The Haas of Tolga sits in 13th, as actually was just lapped by Formula Danny. As Flexus on the super soft tires has been hot lapping in 14th place right now, 16 seconds behind of Tolga. Let's return back to Monster. 18 lap old medium tires, about to be 19. Somebody to watch his tire wear on. So, as Airside gives a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, let's go on board with Photon as he sits in P4, right behind Nicky. Almost a second down of Nicky, almost closing in to under a second for that DRS range. Photon's been trying to push all this race to go for that podium spot. As we have 2 laps to go. Believe there was just a penalty. 3-second stop go for Airside as he goes into the pits. 19 laps on these medium tires. Monster, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That puts Alan T up into P5. Tire wear's going crazy. We got a yellow flag in Sector 3. What has happened in Sector 3 as someone's tire is gone? Gearx is on the maximum tire life. Try to pull it out for one more lap. I believe Formula Danny's just, yes, he is. He's on the very last lap. And he's almost got everybody with a 10-second gap on there. So let's ride with Formula Danny as he's leading on his final lap. He's losing a lot of time to people. He's got to keep those tires in check to avoid any puncture on the last lap. The Formula Danny has been leading a pitch-perfect race for him today, even despite a 3-second time penalty. It's been Formula Danny's race, not much in the qualifying sense, but in a race pace sense. Formula Danny has been all there as he comes for the last time around Catalunya. And down the front straight, weaving his car in victory, almost taking himself out there, but it's Formula Danny taking the win here in Spain. As his teammate Gearx still holding on to the top position in the world title, but he loses the place to Nicky, who took advantage of those 6-second time penalties. So it's going to be Nicky taking second, followed by Gearx, with Photon in fourth, followed by Alan T in fifth, with Monster finishing up in sixth, Some Idiot in seventh, Assassin up in eighth, and Silent Ace in ninth, with Janab finishing up with 1 point. But all the glory in the world goes to Formula Danny right now as he lifts his hands in victory. As he returns to form again. As he takes another win here in Spain and breaks his Alan T streak of being the only driver to win here. Danny, the defending champion, closes the gap on his teammate by 5 points. Oh, nope, more than 5 points. But Garrix is still in the lead of the championship. That's Formula Danny taking the win. You see him on the top step of the podium. It's Formula Danny taking the top step, followed by Nikki in second and Garrix in third. He lifts the trophy up in victory and sprays the champagne. All right, after that crazy race, let's take a look at the finishing position. It's Formula Danny taking the win, followed by Nikki and Garrix in third. He's followed by Fulton, Alan T, Monster, Some Idiot, Assassin, Janab, Silent Ace, 22, 444, 444, Tolga, Adresaif, Flexies, Hypers, and Merrick coming out at the end. Let's go into the driver's parade to talk to everybody else.
Lost concentration last sector, otherwise I would have definitely had that by like another 10 or 2. Oh well, good fun though.
All right. What a strategic race from there. Formula Danny, congrats on the win. How was that race for you? Even though you didn't qualify on pole, it just looked like this was your race from start after you overtook Hypers and you just kind of cruised away with it. Anything you want to say about your race?
Hello guys, nice to be back in the league. I was very surprised by my race because the last time I played on this track was August, and I got home like 15 minutes before the start, so that was my practice time. But my fantastic teammate Garrix has the hand and he gave me his setup, so I'm really grateful for that. I'm not saying that it was the best race of my life, or I really enjoyed this one, because I haven't seen really cars, which is good in the point of view of result. But to be honest, I like close racing in this league, so I may tweak my strategies next time to have better battles out on the track. But yeah, I hope it was a great show. Ganos and Garrix battled a lot behind me, so I'm sure the viewers enjoyed it, and thanks for having me.
Yep, glad to have you back in the league. Congrats on the win in the F1 Esports Championship. Great drive. Now let's go over to P2. Nikki, you finished second after Garrix had a little bit of a penalty on the podium. So how was your race? You were involved in a giant four-way fight throughout most of the race. So just walk us through there.
Yeah, I was just so cautious because I didn't get too much practice at all, and I was really stuck. I felt like on the softs I had the pace to go quicker and maybe give Danny some action on the track, but yeah, basically on the main straight I just couldn't gain anything. So in the end I just tried to stay focused, not get any penalties. At the end I got 3 seconds, but was enough to get Garrix at the end. And yeah, at some point Monster's tires went off, and that was our chance to overtake.
Yeah, I was expecting a little bit of tire wear affecting everybody at the end, but it didn't really seem to be that effective. Well, in the blown tires sense. Let's go over to Garrix as he finished third. Garrix, after taking the win, you still hold the top spot in the championship, but your lead does fall to your teammate. Anything you want to say about this race and the championship?
Maybe it was my worst race since last season's Spa. During the first stint, I absolutely had no grip, and I was struggling a lot. And congratulations to Danny and Nikki.
Short, straight.
Keep it short and straight. That's why we like you.
Who said we like him?
I did.
Even his teammate.
Even his
Doesn't even like
teammate. Well, some story might come out of that, as there might be a little bit of teammate rivalry. Let's go down to Fulton. He finished in 4th place. And I said that before I even looked at the voice channel to see that he's not in here. Congrats me, but Alan
Yeah,
T!
but probably he would say, yeah, it was a good race.
Yeah, it was. Let's go over to Alan T. Started on pole, but finished in 5th after starting on the Super Soft tires. The first of our Super Soft tire starters out of the 3. So, Alan, just walk us through your strategy going into this race and why you started on the Super Soft tires.
I don't know why. I wanted to do something different just to make it interesting. I had quite good pace on the softs, but for some reason, again, my team gave me medium tires for the last stint for last 13 laps, which kind of screwed me up. Quite disappointing, to be honest. I think I should have been there in the podium fight. Of course, not catch Danny, but yeah, quite disappointing.
Even in the virtual world, Ferrari bottles it. Well, hopefully in Monaco, you'll be doing better.
Hopefully.
All right, let's go to Monster, who was involved in that giant 4-way battle, but had a little bit of tire wear issue at the end. So, Monster, how was your race?
Well, yeah, I had a great start. Managed to get up into 2nd effectively, and then it was fighting all through the race. It was really exciting. I thought I could push all that much and hold on to P2, but in the end my tires went off and I was at like 78% over the finish line, so I had nowhere to go. In hindsight, I could have probably conserved a bit and gone for P3 or P4, but well, shit.
All right. Well, hopefully next race is much better for you. We all hope for improvement from everybody. Speaking of improvement, I'm going to skip over somebody. Assassin's not in here. But improvement goes to Janab after he started in last place. He finishes in the points. Janab, how was your race?
Yeah, I messed up qualifying a bit because I didn't get a run in. So that wasn't ideal, and then I thought I would just start on the medium because I know I will be the only one who is doing this, so I can't get blocked in the pit lane or stuff like that. And yeah, I broke my front wing when Adri and Marcy were battling. And I don't know, at that point I was a bit pissed off, and I just pushed with the soft tires in the end and finished 1000 ahead of Ace. So yeah, then I was really happy again. So it's fine, everything fine.
Points are points, and points mean prizes. So you do get some points there. Speaking of points, 1 point, Salinace. How was your race?
Really weird race. During practice, I felt like I had probably should have got more out of it, but I don't know why. Is his voice still working?
Yes, it is. Your voice kind of cut out for a while, and you're just like, our race was.
Oh well.
And just nothing.
Basically, tried to get into a rhythm during the first stint, but it went to crap once. There was a William that spun out right in like sector 1 towards the end.
That was Hypers.
Yeah. Basically had to evade and go into the gravel, and after that the soft tires just went to crap, and just lost pace after that. But I do owe an apology to whoever 222 guy is. I think it's Sege or whatever. I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name, but towards the end of sector 3, he was on soft tires, and we were like it was front end to gearbox, and I basically tapped him and he spun out. So that wasn't even intentional. That was just a race incident, and I owe him an apology. But other than that, just pretty crap race. Yeah, wish for more.
Hopefully the point will drown your sorrows, and that's a point. You move up in the championship table just a bit. Let's go. You did mention Sege, so let's talk to Sege. You finished 11th. You moved up from 14th. Just been behind Silent Ace all race. So how was your race?
Tire wear hell. Pretty much. The tire wear here was just insane.
Yeah.
And I mean, the apology, I appreciate it, but I mean, it wasn't really his fault because I was kind of holding him up and someone else, but I did have 80% tire wear, which I kind of got because I had to pit early because I got sandwiched twice, I think, in the first and broke my wing, and I tried to get into the points, but wasn't close enough.
All right. Hopefully next race is better for you. Let's go to somebody who didn't have that much of an entertaining home race, but let's go to Adersife.
Um,
You didn't
First of
have
all-
you didn't have the best race.
yeah, okay. I'm happy and very angry at the same time. I'm angry. I'm angry, not maybe disappointed. It wasn't my best race. I had a lot of issues with tire wear, and that's why I had to defend against Flexes and Genap again fighting with Genap. I don't know what is happening, but fighting with Genaf is very good, but yeah, I at the end I tried to steal Flex's fastest lap, but I got lapped by by Formula Dani, and I couldn't finish the lap. And in the last thing, I'm very happy because the trash is in its place in 14th position to be closer because I don't know what he was thinking, but okay, that was a race.
All right. Well, hopefully Monaco goes better for you. But speaking of hot lapping, Tolga went on a hot lapping spree mid last 3/4 of the race. So Tolga, how was your race? It's slowly at the back, I know.
I wasn't really hot lapping. I was trying to catch the guys ahead because
Oh, you
on
finished
lap
12th. I totally missed that.
I did finish. I was so on the edge of
Everyone
firing.
clap,
I was
please.
like, I am gonna finish.
Everyone clap. Everyone clap.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Both has finished.
But
Both has finished.
I'm still keeping my promise. I still spun on lap 15 or something. It's I broke my wing on lap 1, but the whole race was a big pack of disappointment because I actually came here with a lot of expectations because whether it's the 5 lap races we do all the time among ours, or it is the people I race with all the time, I'm actually like really cool in this track in my own eyes. But I made a huge mistake on qualifying, which resulted in a back spot, and then some sort of a chaos happened at the end of sector 1, which resulted in me breaking my wing, and then the whole race was like over for me at that point. So I just tried to do a damage limitation, but it didn't work out as well.
All right. Well, we saved the best driver for last, or the best interviewee for last. Ladies and gentlemen, he finished 7th place, qualified 8th, was involved in a few battles today. Some idiot, how was your race?
Could have got more out of it. Honestly, I was just a couple tenths off of catching that 3-way or that 4-way fight for like P2. Hell, I think in the first stint I was just a couple tenths off of catching them and getting DRS. Man, it's just frustrating because I burned my tires off trying to catch them. It's like if I know I catch them, I can stay with them, but I just could never catch them. I just burned my tires off, used up all the DRS I had left. Man, it's just there's more to get out of it. I've had one hell of a fight with Alan. I threw everything I had to stay ahead there, but just not enough. Not enough tires, not enough ERS, not enough anything to stay ahead. Kind of just a disappointing race, but I'm midfield, so what can I ask for?
All right. Anything anyone wants to say before we end the stream and head over to Monaco for next week.
Good luck.
Good luck, my friend.
All right,
Good
everybody.
luck, good luck to the viewers because it's gonna be a living hell. So tune in if you want to experience it here.
And witness my head explode. All right, everybody. My name's Austin. I hope you guys are having a good time and have a good night as we are headed out and in to Monaco.